Thanks for coming at late time and a short notice. As you know, Public Square has been a topic of conversation for some time now, even as we were planning to reconstruct it and then as we moved into the construction phase. But it became more of a conversation, more intense after the ribbon cutting. And RTA and the City of Cleveland has been meeting for some period of time over this issue as to whether or not Superior Avenue would be open or closed to bus traffic or all traffic. And today we've agreed that in the best interest of Cleveland in particular, the people of Cleveland, but the general public, whether they're Cleveland residents or not, it would be best to keep Superior Avenue closed, and that we're going to be engaging with our operations people, our traffic engineering, our police commission, and their people to look at ways to mitigate any impact that that closure has on what do you call it downtown?
The transit zone.
The transit zone, and then we'll be doing whatever we can to mitigate the impact of keeping Superior closed on that traffic zone. Then we will come up with a strategy and plan and jointly seek concurrence with FTA in regards to that plan. Joe Calabrese from RTA will give you more of the detail of how this will work. Joe?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, thanks for coming. As the Mayor said, we've been working cooperatively for the last several months to find the best plan to make Public Square all it could be for the people of Greater Cleveland and also enhance RTA. We certainly love Public Square. We think more people will come down to Public Square, and we hope they take RTA to get there. The concerns that we've heard about is what impact might that have on RTA about going around the square versus through the square. And I think the focus has been RTA not being on that 600 feet of Superior Avenue. What we're going to be looking at, again, the transit zone, as the Mayor mentioned, is really much bigger than that small stretch of Superior Avenue. The transit zone actually goes from West 3rd to East 18th Street on Superior Avenue and from West 3rd to East 12th Street on St. Clair Avenue. So we feel using some strategies that we've used here successfully in Cleveland before, we can make change to those corridors outside of Public Square to more than make up for any inconvenience not going through Public Square will present to our customers and to our efficiencies. I think the best example of that is looking, on Euclid Avenue. We have made some major improvements in Euclid Avenue by, number one, having the exclusive traffic lanes for RTA. Number two, having traffic signal prioritization and preemption so that the buses can move through quicker without delay of red lights in most cases. So by using technologies like that we've proven work here in Cleveland, we're looking to show the FTA that this actually can be a better program for the Greater Clevelanders. We can still be attractive or more attractive to customers, and we can be as efficient or more efficient through some of these technologies. And again, it will take, certainly 10 to 14 days of more serious work with the traffic department to come up with a detailed plan, and then, as the Mayor said, present that to the FTA for concurrence. I guess we'll answer any questions that anyone might have.
We know that this square was supposed to open up to bus traffic at the beginning of August. So can you give us more detail about the discussion that happened between you and the city, what the major holdups were?
Well, I think the major holdup is that in the best interest of Greater Cleveland. We all saw from the RNC forward how popular Public Square was. We know that there certainly have been changes in traffic patterns during construction that are continuing throughout construction, and the decisions were what is in the best interest of the community. We certainly want an open Public Square. We want people to come down and enjoy it. We certainly, from RTA's perspective, didn't want that to be an operational drain on us or our customers. So if we could accomplish the best of both worlds, which we think we can, why not do that?
It's an estimate, but it's something like 18,000 bus pickups were happening in that location. Is that right?
Well, every day about 30,000 customers take the trains to and from Tower City. About 40,000 customers take the buses, on and off the buses around Public Square. So it's certainly a major transit hub. Now, buses will still be going around Public Square. They'll still be stopping on Superior Avenue up to West Roadway and up to East Roadway. They just won't be going through that, again, roughly 600-foot center section of Superior Avenue.
So right now, you think the second best option will be?
Well, we think the best option would be to keep a public square that is unified and promote some efficiencies and realize some efficiencies for RTA through areas outside of that 600-foot section of Superior Avenue, to really not be any operational drain on RTA and no drain inconvenience for our customers.
Creating those new efficiencies, as you say, new infrastructure, dedicated lanes, or different traffic lights, that's going to cost money. Do you agree with the estimate by Nelson Nygaard about $1.5 million lost per year because of the rerouting around Public Square? Or is that figure changed?
I think, that number was a number that came up several years ago. I'm not sure what that number may be today. But again, if we lose a little time going through 600 feet and gain time going through the other several blocks, so the net benefit, there's a net benefit, not a net loss, we're looking to balance those two.
The other question for the mayor, this was a $50 million project designed specifically for buses. Do you envision a changing aesthetically or putting new barriers on Superior now?
Well, it wasn't designed specifically for buses. It was designed specifically for people. And public transportation was part of that consideration. And yes, there would be, once we reach concurrence with FTA, there will be some capital needs to remove the street portion going through Public Square. So yes, there will be a cost to that, yes.
You're envisioning removing the street though entirely?
Well, we're envisioning to first reach concurrence with the FTA, and once we've done that, then we will decide what that will look like, since there will not be a street there.
What would you envision there if you had your druthers about how it would look there? Well, what would you like it to look there once you do build the street?
Well, again, we went through an envisioning plan as it is today, and I'm pretty sure that same thing will occur once we reach a concurrence with FTA. We'll look at that and see what is the best utilization of that space and how can we incorporate that into the whole square.
So basically another planning process,
Well, people would like to have input, yes. And one of the people have had input post ribbon cutting that has really driven us to this point, where people's input was, maybe it would be nice if there were no traffic on Public Square at all. And as you can see, it's a place where people go all day, even in the evening time.
Any public meetings to talk about what?
I don't know what that process will be. I know that once we reach concurrence, that's our first objective with FTA, then we will do what it needs to be done to make the square what it can be.
So what changed from the initial plans in which you were going to open, reopen the street to now? At what point did something change?
Well, time, time changes a lot of things, and then circumstances, condition. As I said, there was always a conversation about keeping Public Square as a unified square without any traffic going through it. Once the ribbon cutting occurred, that conversation intensified. And so since we heard the public talk about it, we said, let's talk about it to see if in fact this is possible. We had some conversations about things that we didn't necessarily agree on in regards to operational efficiency and cost in regards to that operation or lack of efficiency. And so as we talked that through, we said, well, maybe we can mitigate this or address those concerns outside of Public Square with the transit zone that will allow us to reach the same end around eliminating whatever operational or financial problems there would be, but have what people seem to be wanting, which is a unified Public Square. So it was a process. There was no one thing.
But in the beginning, I mean, it was made public that you had, that you preferred to leave the square closed, 2 buses.
Right.
So what do you say to people who might say that this was your plan all along?
Well, everybody knows the conspiracy, don't they? And I'm pretty sure everybody will believe whatever they want to believe. It was not that. I mean, I believe RTA will tell you in our initial conversation with RTA, I said to them, look, you know what my preference is, but if you can demonstrate to us there's an operational and financial harm to RTA, then I will accept that as a fact, and we'll move ahead in that regard. Isn't that?
Yeah,
what
and now
we
we're
talked
trying to
this?
see if those issues can be solved someplace else.
During the intervening time, this delay, there's been pretty strenuous objections from the public transit advocate community. And I imagine they won't take too kindly to this announcement. Any idea, for upcoming plans to, as you say, mitigate the operational delays? How long something that, like new routes, things like that would take? Something within the next year, within the next...
Yeah, I don't know that we're talking about new routes. We have, roughly 900 buses a day going down Superior Avenue today. So what can we do to increase the efficiency and convenience of those 900 buses today for the benefit of our customers?
And I think the advocates were more concerned about whether or not they were going to be prohibited from using buses in an efficient way, whether or not their life was going to be more difficult because of the buses going around the square.
Well, some would argue that 6 or 7 minute delay around the bus is presented.
Well, see, that's an assumption that may not be a fact. About 6 or 7 minutes delay, that may not be a fact.
Well, I've seen people time it once or twice. I don't know.
Well, and we have professionals here, not only with our police, but with our traffic engineers and RTA's people that would give you another. And as a matter of fact, we put out traffic controllers there to mitigate that even more than that may not be a fact.
Does this announcement have any impact on Winterfest that's coming up here in late November?
No, I think even if we were agreeing that the Superior should be open, we would. I think we
would. Yeah, the plan was always that.
Always.
When we anticipated buses going through Superior, on a dozen days a year when those major events happen, it would be closed.
Is there any possibility, though, you talked about coming to an agreement with the FTA, is it possible that maybe we need to start work in the process in the time between now and then?
No, we want to be on one accord, and it wouldn't make sense for us to do things that then later on we'd have to undo. So we want to make sure we're on the same.
Yeah, I don't think we can do any work until we get concurrent. So the work we do initially would be to put the case together to the FTA that this is in the best interest of public transit and RTA. If they agree with that argument, which we hope they would, then the work would start to implement.
Assuming they don't agree, what happens then?
Well, that becomes their choice.
How do you envision the transit zones working?
Well, I think as I mentioned, right now on Superior Avenue, for example, there is the transit zone that's 24/7, but there's no traffic signal prioritization or priority on Superior Avenue. And we know, one of the biggest benefits to increase the speed and efficiency of a bus is to give it that signal prioritization. So as we work with traffic and do studies and do sampling to say if we take these 13 intersections or 15 intersections and upgrade the technology, not just to the intersection but on the vehicles themselves, we will gain that efficiency that will hopefully blow away any loss in efficiency by going around the square versus through the square. So it'll be a process. It'll be a study that we're agreeing to undertake immediately to come up with a conclusion, again, and try then to get concurrence on that conclusion.
Anything else?
Are there routes, I don't know if you know this in advance, but are there routes that are going to be affected where riders might have a significant walk just to get to their stop?
No. I think if anything can only get better than it is today.
What is What's the soonest that you think this could move through the FTA and we might actually see changes happening in Public Square?
What, I said it,
What's the soonest that you think you might be able to reach concurrence with the FTA and we might see
don't,
changes?
have no idea.
Okay.
We're going to submit to them something within 10 to 14 days, and then we'll wait to hear from them.
Forgive me if you released this data, but has there been any studies done about what people think about Public Square, any scientific data?
About what people think?
Right, have community members been told about what they think about Public Square? Has that happened?
Well, I don't know of any. I know that we receive phone calls, and whenever y'all do stories, there are responses to your stories, all of those kind of things. But have we polled people as to what they think? No. But as a general sentiment, as I said, since the ribbon cutting, in general, there are people who would like to see it unified, and then there are other people who question that as to whether or not there's operational efficiency around that. And if that's their major concern, then we're looking to address that. And if we address that, we don't see, they'll have a problem if we address that.
The goal is hopefully to give them both the best of
Right.
both worlds.
Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Mayor, thank you.
Thank you.
We concur that this was a joint effort between the RTA and the city. We've been working together, and there've been, people have asked, you've asked questions about what people thought, but we all take all those things into consideration, and plus the safety of the situation. Things have changed since we went into this FFG with the FTA, and we're very concerned about the safety, as we always are, with our citizenry, with our ridership, the people of this area. So that's one of the things that wasn't mentioned today, and that's one of the things that we will be putting in our reports back to you and emphasizing.
If I might say, we have had an overwhelmingly positive reaction from people about just the beauty of the space, the green space. I don't know if you want to have one comment, about that, just, if you want to talk about that, at least the aesthetics of the space and its usability.
People like it. There are people who like it. And the people who have concerns about the plan of keeping it closed are concerned about whether or not it's going to be efficient or cost RTA more money. But people like it. People just like a unified public square and the way it functions right now. And they like to keep it that way. And again, those who have concerns are not complaining about the aesthetics or enjoying the space. They're saying, we just don't want to be delayed on buses. We don't want to miss our connection. We don't want RTA to lose money. That's what we've jointly agreed on, to attempt to mitigate outside of Public Square. If we do that, I believe that's addressing those people's need. But no one is complained about enjoying the square. No one's complained about they don't like being it. No one's said that. Everybody likes it. Okay?
The safety concerns that you raised?
Well, the safety concerns are very clear to us. If it goes to the point around people enjoying the square and people get used to it, and now you introduce, so it would take some time for people to get adjusted to that new variable going through the square. We also have concerns around, general concerns around use of things, particularly vehicles, when you have large assembling of people, and whether or not that creates a problem, like Winterfest. We will secure Winterfest. The traffic commissioner is there behind you, and he will deploy people in a way that will make sure people can come down and it will be safe. So there are a lot of variables around safety that you have to take into account. New world, new concerns. All right, thank you.